Van Gisbergen hits him right between the eyes, leads 97 laps, starts on the pole, wins the stage, and claims victory for the second consecutive week. Where did he come from? Wins in his first ever Cup start. Opened the door to run Xfinity full-time last year. And just like in his rookie campaign in Xfinity, his rookie year in Cup, he's gone 3 straight on the road, and he's going to burn it down in his first Cup start here in wine country.
Shane Van Gisbergen just torched the field at Sonoma Raceway. Again. And the NASCAR garage is absolutely losing their minds. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. While SVG celebrated his second straight Sonoma victory, veteran drivers launched a full-scale assault on his dominance. They're calling it luck. They're questioning his technique. They're desperately trying to diminish what might be the most dominant road course performance in modern NASCAR history. The numbers don't lie. SVG led 97 of 110 laps at Sonoma. That's 88% of the entire race. He won from pole position for the 3rd consecutive time this season, tying Jeff Gordon's NASCAR record for consecutive road course victories from the top starting spot. Gordon set that record between the 1998 and 1999 seasons. Trackhouse Racing was so confident in another SVG victory that they had extra tires ready for his celebration Burnout. Think about that. A team so certain of victory, they prepared for a second burnout before the race even started. It means everything. That's why I race cars. I had an amazing time in Australia, and then to come here, and the last couple weeks, or years actually, has been a dream come true, Van Gisbergen said after the race. I've really enjoyed my time in NASCAR. Thanks, everyone, for making me feel so welcome. I hope I'm here for a long time to come. But NASCAR's established stars aren't rolling out the welcome mat anymore. Chase Briscoe finished second at Sonoma. You'd expect celebration from a runner-up finish. Instead, Briscoe sounded completely defeated. His post-race comments revealed the psychological warfare SVG is waging on the entire field. I never played basketball against Michael Jordan in his prime, but I feel like that's probably what it was like, Briscoe said after failing to pass Van Gisbergen on 2 late restarts. That guy is unbelievable on road courses. He's just so good. He's really raised the bar on this entire series. Read between those lines. Briscoe just compared SVG to Michael Jordan. That's not a compliment between competitors. That's surrender. The veteran field is struggling to process what they're witnessing. SVG moved from 33rd in the standings to 3rd in playoff seeding in just 5 weeks. He joins Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, and Kyle Larson as the only drivers with 3 wins this season. Here's where the terrible news for SVG begins brewing. NASCAR's top drivers are systematically attempting to delegitimize his success. The Whisper campaign started with his unique braking technique. Rivals claim SVG possesses a technique he mastered down under that none of them, all oval specialists, can ever learn. They're painting his success as an unfair advantage rather than superior skill. Victory number 4 for Van Gisbergen seemed a given before teams even arrived at the picturesque course in California wine country. His competitors have essentially conceded defeat before the green flag drops, but SVG's dominance extends far beyond Sonoma. His recent winning streak tells a story of complete road course mastery that's driving NASCAR veterans to desperation. At Mexico City, Van Gisbergen overcame serious illness to win by 16.567 seconds. He slept on the floor of his hauler before the race, unsure he could physically complete 100 laps. Despite being seriously ill, he led 60 of 100 laps and delivered the largest margin of victory in the Cup Series since Texas in November 2009. I tried to treat it like when I go to Asia. Just drink bottled water and be careful in the shower and brush your teeth with bottled water. But I just went downhill, Van Gisbergen explained. Couldn't keep anything in. Everything just went straight through me. I felt really queasy and my mind was there, but my body just had so much pressure in my stomach. Crazy weekend and everyone dug deep. He won while battling severe illness. The field couldn't beat a sick driver. The Chicago street course delivered another crushing blow to veteran confidence. Van Gisbergen completed a weekend sweep of both Xfinity and Cup races, both from pole position. He matched Kyle Busch's achievement at Indianapolis Motor Speedway in July 2016. Only 2 drivers in NASCAR history have accomplished this feat. "Epic weekend for us. I'm a lucky guy," Van Gisbergen said after Chicago. But luck doesn't lead 97 laps at Sonoma. Luck doesn't win by 16 seconds while sick in Mexico City. The psychological impact on NASCAR's veteran drivers is becoming undeniable. William Byron admitted SVG operates on a different level. "He's just closer to the edge than all of us. He's not reacting. He's already a step ahead." That's a Daytona 500 winner publicly acknowledging inferiority to a driver with 34 Cup Series starts. Van Gisbergen became the fastest driver to win 4 Cup Series races since Parnelli Jones in 1969. He's also the winningest driver born outside the United States. These aren't lucky breaks. These are historical achievements. The Saturday Xfinity Series race at Sonoma provided the only crack in SVG's armor. Connor Zilisch managed to hold off Van Gisbergen in the final laps, snapping his streak of 3 consecutive road course victories across both series. "First, hats off to Shane. That was awesome," Zilisch said. "All race long, I felt like we were racing each other with respect. I wheel-hopped a little bit going into turn 7 that one time and got into him. But other than that, it was awesome to get to race against him finally and battle with him the whole race long." Even in defeat, Zilisch showed the respect that established Cup Series veterans refuse to display. The numbers reveal the scope of SVG's road course dominance. All 3 of his wins this season came from pole position. He's tied Jeff Gordon's record with just 34 Cup Series starts compared to Gordon's entire career. At this pace, Gordon's 9 road course wins record faces imminent threat. Justin Marks, Trackhouse Racing owner, made a bold prediction. "He's the best road course stock car racer that I've ever seen. I think when he's done with us all and walks away from the sport, I think he's going to walk away as the best road course racer that this sport has ever seen." The veteran pushback intensified after Sonoma. Several drivers suggested SVG's success stems from advantages unavailable to traditional NASCAR competitors. They point to his Australian supercars background as an unfair edge rather than superior preparation. Victory number 4 for Van Gisbergen, who stunned NASCAR in 2023 when he popped into the debut Chicago street course race from Australian V8 supercars and won, seemed a given before teams even arrived. The phrase "seemed a given" reveals the mental defeat spreading through the garage. Competitors are surrendering before racing begins. Van Gisbergen's 2023 Chicago debut created the template for veteran frustration. He became the first driver to win his Cup debut since Johnny Rutherford in the second qualifying race at Daytona in 1963. The headlines called it a miracle, but SVG proved it was just the beginning. "This joint, it's changed my life," Van Gisbergen said about Chicago. "I didn't have any plans to do more NASCAR races when I first came over here, and I never thought I'd be in NASCAR full-time." The Sonoma Victory delivered another crushing statistic. SVG led more laps at Sonoma than Jeff Gordon ever did in a single race at the track. He accomplished this while surviving 3 restarts and multiple cautions with the entire field desperately attempting to catch him. Van Gisbergen said Chase Briscoe's post-race interview revealed the depth of competitor frustration. "On the last restart, I thought Briscoe, jumped a little bit. I was just trying to do what I could to get in position in turn 2. That last one, I had to give him a bit of rub, but that was it. I'm just over the moon." Even when giving Briscoe a bit of rub, SVG maintained control and pulled away for victory.